Okay, so it's like 3:35 in the morning, and I don't really know what I'm gonna be talking about, but I'm coming in hot. Oh, and it's so congested again that, well, I mean, the congestion just keeps staying, but there is periods of time where I don't feel, and I've been, some of the days I've even done that black seed oil 3 times in a day. Oh God, I can't stand the way that does have taste. But, but I keep trying all these natural things, you know. But yesterday morning, the fog was so thick. Oh my God. And it was, and then Stella always starts harassing me to go out. I want to wait until like the sun comes up and burns off the fog, which, I mean, this is so unnatural. Everything is so unnatural. But I'm so tripped out by what's going on around me, like in the world. It's just, and I don't think I can explain really what it is, but I'll try some. But anyways, so the fog, it was like, I think it was 10 o'clock or something, 9:30 for sure. And it was still so foggy. So we went out and walked and did our walk. And then it's been raining. And I just saw this video where, I think I had seen one yesterday too, where the news was saying, so weird though, because so many people make these fake videos. So it's just kind of like you just see a lot of stuff. And then it's when things start crossing over, but now it's even like, there's just like, I understand what they say when they say the spreading of misinformation. Because it's just like that lady telling that story about the, even though they do make people into leather, that they make them into diamonds and make them into leather. They put them in our food. They put them in, like, I mean, and then you got to think, like, well, that seems like an extreme amount of bodies, doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't it? Like, fuck. Like, how, you just think of how many people, like, probably for so long, homeless people, like, we already know, like, before they used, like, the asylums. People were discarded to the asylums. And then it was easy once the people, I see so clearly the people's inability. It's like the people's weakness. And it keeps happening and happening and happening. But we go to them. We ask them for help. And I have mixed feelings on this one thing I just saw. Maybe that's explaining it better. So this girl was I just couldn't even handle watching all the TikToks last night with all the Halloween stuff. I was just like, oh my God, people just go so fucking mindlessly just through life, just like, oh my God. Just like, to me, I was seeing all these people on TikTok selling stuff nonstop, like how much that just keeps building. And, oh, you can be a creator. And if you want to do and just, it's just nonstop sell. I mean, it's like, that is the wrong energy to be going at this point. Like, but it's so crystal clear is that they're in this pocket of shallowness, and all this stuff is happening around the world, and it's kind of like back in the day where people started saying, like, the news people just sit there saying the news smiling. Like, do they even listen to the news? Do they even know what's going on? What the robot is going on? And then I think there was some news people that tried to be more serious, I think maybe that is what their big draw was, Walter Cronkite or something. But they put a lot of news ladies on there who just were all smiles. The people on the thing, they were just, it was a show. And but it seems like that is like, these people are that way. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because it is like, it's something, all this is something in the people. Like, why, what keeps them asleep or something. I don't know what it is. They'll all see, and it's probably a whole bunch of different stuff. But whatever it is about to surface. And it is going to be a beast, man. Like, micro, macro, it is so much. Like everything happening is an expression of everything else. And it's just all at different levels. And this is a video game. Like, this is something I think people really got to get it in their head. This is not real life. You went into, and it's so funny how they've put this in movies so many times. And it should be a reference, a resource inside one's mind to be able to go into it and be like, yeah, okay, I get it. Although they told you, no, you're not in a video game. Yeah, you are. You're in a video game. This isn't you. This is the avatar you created to come in and be you. And it isn't like you sat there and put the pieces together, but you put the pieces together in a different way because it was the pieces of the life. Like, because like I've said, you're a product of everyone you've met. And so when your soul is looking, it's like it knows the experiences that you're going to be getting, that is what it's focused on. It's not going, oh, I want to look like that person. That's like a human concept. It's like, I want to look like that person. I want to look like that person. It's more like, no, I need to learn what is going here. I need this lesson. I need this experience. We need to look at it from this way. And these are the ones who give you who you are. So they matter. And I think that's why sometimes, somebody sometimes goes in and just looks at their face and is like, God, I hate my nose. I hate it. I hate it. But it's really attached to a different paradox with this other soul, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'd have to look up what paradox means. But anyways, if you get what I'm saying, just go with the flow. Just go with the drift. But I think you get what I'm saying. So, anyways, that's why I say it's like your physicality is a representation of what you're here to work on. And it holds lessons, and it's the thing with it, leaning on my one hip. And when I was really noticing how hard it is to break this habit of leaning on this hip and to stay centered when I'm, standing at the counter is a big one. When I'm standing there making a cup of tea or something, and I would notice, or standing in anything it seems like around the counter in the kitchen. And one thing that's also sucky if you're tall is, and even though I'm not as super tall as some people, even though like I shrunk, I used to be a lot taller, but I have long legs, so I'm still up at the counter at a different place where the standard is. So a lot of people are at this perfect place with your counter, and I never knew anything about that until I went to, I think it was babysitting or something at these people's house, and they were really tall. And they were telling me about their kitchen and how they had all of the counters raised to be the right height for them. I was like, oh man, I hadn't thought of that. But once somebody points something out to you, you start noticing those things. Starts being like, fuck, these counters are low. But so I would notice that I was always leaning on this one hip. And I've been trying really hard to focus. And like I said, I will go in the mirror and I will look. It's like I am trying to design exactly what I want to look like. So if I find like, okay, I want this area to be tighter right here. So then you try and look in the mirror and you try and flex this muscle. You try and find, how does this muscle move? Where does it go? What does it need to do? If I want this muscle, like if this muscle seems weak. And I can't believe the weak muscles I had in my core and how much it takes to build up. But you just got to keep going. And this one lady who I see, like, she's so inspirational. I am telling you, she's Latin. She's dark skinned and she doesn't wear any makeup. Well, she may when she's like, I don't see her all like, I see her videos, and her videos seem very much that in her garage, she's turned it into a gym. Not super, super fancy gym, like, but, she's got like these weights and a bench, or these different kinds of things. Like she's got some stuff in her gym. And so the videos of her working out, I'm telling you, this chick, fuck. And she's 67. and she looks so good, and her hair is so thick, and it is down, it's like to her butt. She's got this big mane of hair, and great looking skin, and a total tone fit body. She looks so young. Like, she looks so young. I'm telling you, she's inspirational. And that this, when I was talking about that other woman, and it's funny because like I've said all along, you change so much as you go. The more you learn, the more you change. And that's the way it's supposed to go. But back at the time when I had seen that one lady in the ads, and I was like, God, she just looks like such a little old lady. Why are they put these in the ads? When I see this other older woman, and she, she seems so much more, and she had this silver hair, because this is before I realized about the minerals. But she had this silver hair, and she's really tiny, and you would think, because she's always high fashion, and so her clothes, like, I couldn't tell. She just looks small. But she did show things like going in just in her Spanx or whatever, when she was talking about the skin. And I still didn't put it all together. I mean, she was talking about the skin being loose. And now when I look at her compared to her, it's like, yeah, I can see, because she looks skinny and fragile, and this lady looks fit. This lady looks like, yeah, I could go out and help you do that. This lady looks like she might break. And now I see it, because she is breaking. And she's come out too and said she vaped. And so she's quit vaping now. That stuff is eating from your bones and stuff. And then when your hair is solid, because she's solid white hair, or silver. She's one of those ladies. And when it is at that point, it has no more color to feed off of. It's feeding off of your bones and stuff. So that's what gets me, when I used to look at these women and be like, oh, they look so good. I want my hair to look like that. And, I was like, oh my God, my hair's going so slow. Come on, hurry. And then all of a sudden it was like, it was because even when I first heard about the copper thing, I just thought, oh, it just changes I didn't put it together about the mineral thing. That took me a lot of stuff coming in my direction. And that's why the algorithm can work with you, because that's how the universe works to me. So the information that kept coming in led me in the direction where I started seeing that it was mineral deficiency. But before, I didn't see that, and I was, visual more like that too, because even saying like, well, that woman, she should be more of the model that they're going to put out for older women, because she doesn't look like the other lady. It looks like isn't, just like your typical grandma that they try and sell us in the movies. It's like, there's a lot of women proving that we don't just turn into grandmas. We we really don't change that much. The changing is the sickness. The changing is the depletion of the minerals and the extreme poisoning. And so, and I'm getting, yesterday it was like I wasn't having all of the joint pain, and so it started again. I know it's in the fog. I know it seems like, yeah, I'm sure there's mildew. I'm sure all of those molds and everything, it all adds to it. But I am positive there's shit in the fog, in the rain. So anyways, this lady, the skinny white hair lady, and then when she broke her foot, because I had already talked to her. When I very first, just because I had just started talking to her, and all of a sudden my hair started changing. And I said, and I told her, what I was seeing and stuff. And I said, you should do it. That would be like crazy. And she was like, no, I don't do that. I want to keep my hair silver. I like it. I don't think I look good with dark hair anyways. And then I tried to tell her, I've tried to tell a lot of people, it isn't about the color. It's the minerals. Your body is taking the minerals from your hair. It's taking all the color from your hair, because it's trying to survive. So you're already running on empty. You're running on fumes once your hair starts changing colors. And then, I feel so bad for some of these people whose hair changes at such a young age. And then they just think, well, it's just genetic. It's like, yeah, but if it's genetic, you're depleted somewhere. because this doesn't happen unless you have a depletion. And so, and that's the same with horses. That's one thing where they can tell when the horses need selenium or salt lick or something, is because they will fade in color. And so, and I've noticed with the dogs, I mean, Stella's coat is so much more rich in color, dense and soft, and it's just a lot healthier looking. And I've noticed it in my own hair. My own hair has so much more, it just looks healthier. Plus, I'm wondering, like, I'm always wondering what, like, color it looks, but it always is in different things, because as it keeps going, I keep seeing so much red going into my hair, which to me would be like the copper. And so I keep thinking that copper adds some dread, because I've seen that in Stella's and in Max's. Max's hair was so white when he came here, and it's turned so orange. And so I kept looking at my hair, because when I look at it, like when I'm looking at it like this, it looks like it's red. And I said something to my mom, and she was like, she thinks it looks blonde. And I was like, man, that's so trippy, because I think when we look out of our eyes, depending on how we see things, it kind of changes the colors, like a range of colors or something, how we see it. Like, I don't think that we all see the same picture when we look out, if you get what I'm saying. So, anyways, I was found that interesting, because it's, because my hair was super white when I was a kid, and then it was more like towards the end of junior high and high school when it started getting darker. But then all the kids kept telling me my hair was red, and that's what kids would say. Well, you got red hair, and but my brother had orange hair. So nobody ever told me I had red hair. And then I was like, well, that makes sense that I would have so much red in my hair. But I think it's more like when you see it in the sun. But anyways, I feel like that is coming back in to my hair. It's getting much more of that. That's why I say it reminds me more of like back in high school. That I think even back then, though, my hair was a lot drier. Like, it is got just a moistness. And I swear to God, there is like I'm telling you, there is way more to this mineral stuff. Like, I mean, some of the stuff they say is bullshit. Menopause, there's a lot of stuff that is like, oh, that's weird. Like, I thought that was a thing. And then all of a sudden you start getting healthier, and it's like, oh, that's no longer a thing. That's weird. So you just keep registering. But anyways, on this thing, because this to me now is the division. This is the two things, which the fucking nuts are, oh my God. At least now there's a lot more creators talking about it too. They're just like, man, what is going on with this? It's weird. It is weird. If you're not on TikTok and watching videos of people saying, like, I don't know how much you get off of Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter of the things of people. People do videos on TikTok melting down over shit. Like, and they say the wackiest stuff. I just had a comment on this one, guys. I just thought, this is whacked, man. Because he was saying, and this is an older guy, somebody who would be in, well, you would think he would be in my range of dating, but no, I'm, I would be way too far out for him. But so it's funny, he looks like a conservative older guy, but he's quite liberal. And so he was just like, could not believe it. Because one of these talks, Trump's talking all day long. He just goes from one thing to the next thing. And this is some, I don't know, a town hall, who he was talking to, whatever. But he started going off on Liz Cheney and saying that, she's real peace. And that she deserves to be, she's such a warmonger. She deserves to be on the other side and have the 7 guns facing towards her. And which is the insinuation of the squad that's waiting at the gate. But I don't think he had that part of it, like, at all. But, when I hear that being said, that's what I hear being said. And this guy hears that Donald is threatening to MRUDR Liz himself with the, like, it is so weird. Like I said, I don't know what their reality is like. It's very strange when you hear the stuff they say, because it's so off base. It's so off reality. And it's so weird because they think that they're all the ones that are rational and know what's going on. Oh yeah, and all these fucking astrologers, like, they don't just say, "Oh, Kamal's gonna win." No, they fucking celebrate. Come on, people, yay! She's got the shit. She's whatever, she's about to change the world. So they're sitting there. These are astrologers, and they're sitting there saying that. And I'm thinking, I think that she's about to change it in a different way than you guys think she's about to change it. We'll see how it plays out. So, anyways, so this guy is melting down because Donald said this, and the Republicans aren't even saying anything. The new, like, where's the outrage? And so I just said, wow. So Joe can go in and say he's going to go, and I don't even know how many times he's said, he wants to take Trump out of the water, he wants to drown him, he wants to fight him, he wants to beat him, he wants to, like, get rid of him. Now he's calling his people garbage. I think he's done this before, though. But the people are garbage. Everybody's on that wagon. And so this guy can sit here and threaten this guy and call the people garbage, and then that's okay. But then, but you're gonna freak out over those other guys saying stuff. It's just like the hypocrisy that these people maintain is just, that's why I say, when they wake up and see their hypocrisy, see their bitterness, see their anger, but you gotta remember, these are all stuff from their past lives. This stuff is to bring it to the surface. So this stuff is real. It's not, and this is the way it's supposed to play out. And it's very hard, but the challenge has definitely pushed me, to be like, fuck, I have some judgment in me. I do have some extra judgmentalness towards some of this shit. So it does push yours to the surface so that you can release your stuff. Because whatever from our past lives, our soul's journey, that we are trying to purge out whatever's coming up for us throughout this thing. And then and their stuff is all, to me, like I've said, it's like they're locking in their answers. It's like all this stuff is happening. So it's like taking pictures of them. Like, yeah, like it's like when you come into the passport thing now or whatever, and they just take a picture of you when you're going through customs or something. Well, some places, I don't know if every country, because I thought it was strange. So then, so if the, so it's kind of like snapshots. Yeah, it's like snapshots of life. And so these people who are going through this, like, that don't have their awareness, that don't know what's going on, and are living in this, like, completely being led by these dark people. And they don't know. They're fighting the battle for the dark people. And then they have no clue. And it is this really nasty side of these people. And they don't know, they don't know this bitter, angry, hateful side of themselves, because they're so misled by this other group of people. They're just like the Pied Piper playing the flute, and those people, that's all they can hear. And it is all this mind trap, and we don't know, everybody doesn't know everybody's different programming. But I'll tell you one thing, though, everybody was programmed exactly the way it's supposed to go. Guys, another thing too that I'm so sick and tired of hearing these motherfucking spiritual leader people constantly. Well, you've thrown the heavens today, or whatever. You've thrown God. God did not expect you to do that. Your team did not expect you to do that. And there's so much absurdity to the stuff I hear them saying, and they say it with conviction. And it's like, where are they getting this shit? There was another one that I heard too that was so ridiculous. I was like, what in the hell are you talking about? And I can't even remember. I mean, they're practically like the devil and the angel. Like, I don't know where their elevated spirituality is, because I don't see it at all. I see them just a lot of nonsense. There's only, when I hear all these different ones talking, there's only a few that I hear where it's like, I think that they get what's going on. There's so many, and I just hear them, and I'm just like, you have no clue what's going on. No clue whatsoever. And I don't know, what your soul journey is, what your soul story is, what you're doing. But, we'll see. And so with the, so to me, what they're doing is like all of these incidences are happening, and they're affecting us all in different ways. And it's, it's very scary when you know what's, the truth. And to have to go through it is, it really pushes you to have faith and to believe and to trust. It really pushes me to converse a lot with my guides, like spend a lot of time talking to them. And so it should push you inside. It pushes you in and towards the higher mind, towards the spirit. And but these other people who are so connected in, so they go out instead of in, and it's quite obvious to me. And they get very into that three-dimensional thing, like when you have these people who, for one thing, on some of these people, what do they think of with the age of Aquarius? Like, like, it's bizarre. Do you not understand? We're going into the age of Aquarius. Like, you guys act like you think you do. You say you do. But what is that? Do you know anything what it is? And it is the golden age. It's the age of abundance. It's the age of unity, love. It's a spiritual time on the planet when we live in peace and harmony. And it's a very beautiful time that is coming to. But it doesn't just come because you just sit there and raise your vibration and cut everybody out of your life that makes you mad. That's not how it happens. And so it happens through loss and pain and suffering and tragedy and stuff. All of this stuff sweeping away. But when you really get down to it, what's being taken from us is only things that are hurting us, only things that are drawing from us and taking from us. It's being purged out of the storyline. But there's so much that you have to let go of, because it's all these different levels of understanding and consciousness. And some people have no understanding or whatever. They're just holding on because they think this is all they got, and they haven't gone inside. So then it's like, ooh, someone's gonna hit more harder. And things just keep punching, man. There's so much going on over there, like in the wrath of Helene and whatever, Nadine or whoever, Milton. Over there is still so much stuff, so much stuff happening. And they are testing the soil. It's got some bad stuff in it, but I don't even know what they've just come back with these really long chemical things and said they've got way too much of this and this. And so I don't know. I'm sure I'll see videos of people talking about whatever these are and all the things it causes and stuff. So so all of that stuff is just going to keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. And it's like, because they're not focusing on it, I feel like if they went internal, if they went and started connecting to their spirit guides and stuff, that their spirit guides would lead them into a safer place. I feel like there are a lot of people, when they come out of this and go into their life review, that it's going to be about their communication with themselves and stuff, the things that they're trying to learn and fine tune and understand. And so, and this is hard. It's hard to read the signs, to hear and stuff, because they cause so much influence and so much noise, so that it interferes with your connection, and it takes a deeper one. And I think that for some of us, it's just been one that we've had for so long that it's easy to recognize. So you can recognize because you've been communicating for so long, like for me, since I was a little kid. But I know that there's other people who are psychic mediums and all that stuff who have been talking to the other side, whether they're talking to dead people, aliens, uh, just it's souls. It's all souls. And so there's other people who have been more tapped into the universal consciousness. It's like a airwave. It's like which I feel so certain about this, and I've talked about before. Let me think. Did I finish saying about, because I totally see this is the two different paths, the superficial, artificial, and this lady's is going to keep falling apart, as if she's going to keep going in that direction. If she's not going to start, and she does seem to be slowly focusing more on her health, because like stopping vaping and stuff like that, but she still is very superficial, artificial in her content and stuff like that. And so it's an energy. So it's an energy you want to tap into, because this other lady, I bet you she's going to skyrocket. She'll probably get deals and stuff, like to be showing people how to become so fit. Like she's like a Jack LaLanne kind of chick or something. Like she looks like, fuck, man. And she's just doing it in her garage, with her. She don't have trainers and stuff in there with her. It's just her. And I don't know what her history is of working out or whatever. And I don't know, because there's tons of these women too who have lost extreme weight. That is a big thing that's been going on. People losing 200, 300 pounds and getting themselves in shape by themselves by changing their lifestyle. So those people are all going to become influencers to the people who all of a sudden are like, want to get healthy, want to start taking care of themselves. And so this other one, the little skinny white-haired lady, she she's seems more frail, and that is the aging that they want to keep us trapped in, is this depletion of our and then to give up on yourself. Even though she's going out and putting on all the clothes and all the makeup, she's still not going and spending enough time at the gym and stuff. And she already said she had stopped exercising and stuff. She's got more into going out and partying or something. And you can't. You have to do it every day. Every day you have to find. It's like, if you just parked your car in the driveway and you never started it. And so every day you need to go out and start it and let it kind of run. So every day you got to keep your motor running. You got to keep yourself going. And it's going to translate into how we change our energy, where we get energy from. I feel so certain about that. The more and more I see too, the more I see how people wake up and their relationship of food starts changing. And I saw another guy talking about the same thing as me, where he was saying that everything tastes weird, it's gross, it's got gross stuff in it and stuff, but then your body keeps wanting to eat, and it's really hard. And yeah, it is. And I'm just like, fuck, man, it's hard. So, and I keep trying to, figure out, like even yesterday when we were on a walk, I was like, energy begets energy, breathing in and stuff, trying to get my energy from putting out energy, bringing in the energy, like twisting it up, turning it, winding it up or something, winding myself up. And so, but let me think back what I was going to say a minute ago, because there was that other thing I wanted to say. The one girl, one of the videos that I wanted to say was this girl, another one of these. There's so many of these. This girl was going to take her dog. She dressed her dog up as a UPS guy, and she was going up to the UPS store to show the UPS guy, because he's so nice and he always comes to her house and interacts with her dog and gives him treats and stuff. So she thought it'd be so cute. She wanted to go up there. So she's just all happy-go-lucky going up there, and she gets to the light to a cross or something, and some man in a wheelchair suddenly stands up and punches her as hard as he can right in the chest. And she's bawling and stuff, like she doesn't know what to do. This is the thing, is so many people. It's so weird. So many people. And when you start noticing this, you'll see everywhere you go, everybody's like, oh, sorry. Like they're sorry for existing. I'm sorry I'm in your way. I'm sorry I'm here. I'm sorry I'm in your, and it's like, people have got to get that. It shows so much about trauma right there, that you feel like you're in the way, that you're the problem. And so, you know, all these people being punched and then being like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Stand up for your motherfucking self. If that's to call the police or whatever. And I've been that same, you know, like I said, me strangle me. And I was like, oh no, it's my fault. I shouldn't have bothered him. like, yeah, when you heal, yeah, you change your attitude. Like, yeah, fuck that. So anyways, there was this other person I wanted to say, okay, so there was the guy, or I was like, okay, this is wacky. So you think this guy's saying this is horrible, but this guy's saying this, well, that's okay. I was like, what's wrong with you people? Like, it's so bizarro world. And I have no idea, you know, how this is going to play out. There's people who are speculating that that's why Donald is saying, everybody get out there early, because the numbers will come in is him winning before it ever gets to the date, which, you know, could be. I don't know. But they are doing so much. I can't even believe how many videos, of course, because it's Groundhog Day on this shit, of the cheating going on. Oh my God, it's just like, I don't want to watch this shit again. It's so Groundhog Day. It's like the same thing. Oh my God, can't believe it. What are they doing? Why are they doing this? People go in and they're being told, oh no, you already did. And it's like, no, I didn't. And they're like, yeah, you did. And then they're making them sign all these affidavits and shit to put their thing on. It will become thrown out. Like, and, a guy coming, oh, you're registered as dead. And, well, I'm obviously not. I'm right here. And this woman, she was just like, I'm pretty sure they were going to go for Blue Lady. And I did say, and comment on her thing, too. You must have missed it. Because she said, she was so mad. Somebody said something in her comments, and she was commenting back, and she was furious. Like, how dare you say that? Like, this is, oh, it's another one for Cammy. And then she was like, how dare you? That is not what I said. They would not let him have one. It was, they said he was dead. And so I said, oh, I guess you must have missed 2020. There was a lot of dead people who voted. Like, lady, what the hell? These people, they have no clue what's going on. I swear to God. And he goes, so what? Rah! And, so anyways, and there is some battles, but I don't know if all of the things I see are really the people saying that. I think that there's some bots out there trying to start some fights because they're just too ridiculous. And, but I know that tensions are high and people are saying really rude shit to each other. People are freaking out. I saw a video of this person in another one of these fast food restaurant places freaking out, throwing all this shit. The staff goes trying to take the person down. The person comes out with a pan and starts hitting them. I swear to God, it's a fucking circus. Like, we are, like, it's mental. Like, the stuff going on is so insane. Oh, and so many people out watching the skies and seeing ships. There's so many ships. And the flood in Spain is fucked. Valencia is fucked. Just like over in this place. And the satellite images shows that it's all washed out and stuff. And so then I was going on the Doomsday Map to try and see how it matched up to that. And I don't know all those. When you go and look at the Doomsday Map of all of Europe, it's a lot of washout. This is going to keep going. Like, these places are going to keep going. And this is the sad part, is so many people are like, well, I got to stay here. This is my home. I got to build back. And all that stuff. It's like, no, the universe is kind of trying to nudge you. But you are resistant because you know what's best. This is why I say people will start, when they go to their life review, they'll be like, oh, man. Because there is, when you are on the one timeline, this is a timeline where you think you know what's best. So you are trying to force life and make it happen and do this and do that. And this is where these spiritual people want to keep you trapped. Yeah, I even saw, what was that? This person talking about spirituality, about learning how to force the universe to make it do what you want it to do. You guys, like, you guys trying to create another dark planet over there? Like, what the fuck? I think that's what we're trying to work our way out of here. We're trying to work our way into peace and harmony and going with the flow and love and unity, not this this thing that you guys are feeding off of. So so anyways, but that all is coming to the surface. And that is what I was talking about, like these people are locking in their way they look at things. So when the lights come on, whatever's going to go down, and the lights come on, which there's a lot going on with the MISSILLE, MISSILLE. So those things flying around. And the threats, because the North guy over there, he's really fed up, and so all this threats, and that's where I'm saying we got all this stuff going on. You still got these people. Oh, girls, you got to get this. If you don't have this eyebrow stuff, you're just a loser. If you don't have this, you're just a waste of time. Like, come on, everybody. Bye, bye, bye. It's like, oh my God, you guys, like, I think that when they get to the other side, when whatever goes down, there is going to be like, ooh, God, I can't believe it. Like, people are going to be embarrassed of how they're so in this time. And it's just, there's going to be such a shift of perspective. That's what this whole thing is. That's what the awakening is shift of perspective. And once you awaken, you are shifting slowly. Like I said, you're just constantly changing how you look at things. Like, you could be looking at like Gypsy Rose is the greatest one day, and then the next day being like, what the let the bitch out for? It's just like this shifting our perspective and our coming into our focus. And this is about you becoming balanced in yourself. And it is so much freeing yourself from other people's opinions and what other people's expectations and programming. There's a lot of stuff to free yourself from it. And so it's a process. And so throughout, once you become awakened, it should, I mean, for me, it went through the process of healing. But a lot of people, what I have noticed is when they wake up, something scares them. And so then they focus on it. And that's why we have so many people who are so dead stuck on the politics. That's why it's going to be a lot of drama and stuff to push them out of it. And all this hypocrisy, all this following these monsters off the fucking cliff, all of that is what is all of a sudden they're going to see. They don't see it right now. Once the lights come on, they're going to see it. Then they're going to go very internal as to why. And they're going to feel a lot of shame because they're going to be like, ooh, these people who I don't even like could see it. What's wrong with me? And that is a part of what they got to heal. It's this part of coming into going is, we're all the same, you're not better than anybody. You got yourself into this concept of that you are better than other people. And we've got so much of that playing out. That's why they sit there, wow, to each other, is because they, they don't have any respect for each other. And once we level it out and be like, oh, that's your opinion, this is my opinion. But see, they've taken our opinions and they've created hostility. And they've done all this on purpose, but that hostility is inside the people. But then also the universe is using it as the purge of that energy. So you can use it how you want. You can use it as a weapon or you can use it as a purge. And so, but there's a lot of people who are very stuck. That's why I've said it's not just the blue people. I see so many people who are so stuck. They're stuck in this paradigm of red or blue, wrong or right, good or evil. And it is a darkness, but it's not evil. It's like the hardest things. It's like the most tragic things, but it's not like bad to the universe. It's not even bad to us souls. It's like we live in, harmony and beauty and stuff. That's our truth. That's our existence. And our challenge is to be able to go in and learn from other experiences and go through hard things. And then some things I think, it's almost like an actor wanting to get to play the villain. Like, oh, I'm going to play the villain. I bet I could do a good villain. So that's more like how the souls are. It's not like, I'm evil. I want to go fuck some people up. I'm going to go down there and fuck some people up. It's not like that. And, it's not our desire. And but the things along your route pushes you in to see yourself in a new way, because then you see like the depths of you will go. Like there's a lot of people who I think, they go into their life review and then they're like, oh my God, you mean I murdered my family for money? For money, I did it. I did it for money. Like there's a lot of, like, and that is where they say like the soul sees itself. That's where you get to see, and not just you, the whole universe gets to see what got you there, what drove you, and that is where the universe learns from. And it still trips me out. Oh yeah, because that was another one of these so the end of the incarnation cycles and stuff like that. And to me, that is like telling the universe, we're putting down our paintbrushes. We're done now. We're done. We've gone on strike. We're no longer doing this. It's much too hard. And it seems absurd. But it seems like, okay, well, this is the kind of energy that's purging out of this life cycle. So it makes sense, but it's ridiculous. And when you hear these spiritual people pushing that agenda and stuff, it's like, all I can see is like, these are people who are going to see the error of their ways, and it's going to hurt because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And to me, just like these same people like telling you, like, you've tricked the universe, you've jumped timelines, you've set yourself back. That was the one I heard yesterday. You set yourself back when you didn't follow the signs. You flipped yourself back to a bad timeline. And I was like, bullshit. Don't listen to these people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And the flipping timelines would be, so this lady over here, and then flipping timelines can be slowly going, but the universe is going to come in hot. Like that's going to come in and be like, whoosh, like a tsunami of energy is going to come in and flip the tables. It's like it's like the Titanic. We're all sitting there, and then it's going to come in and flip the tables, man. So we are going to, the universe is going to flip shit. So, and everybody's had these opportunities, but this is one of the things that a lot of people are going to find themselves is like, fuck, man, all I did was focus on fear. And then anybody who disagreed with me, I cut them out of my life. Like, fuck you. So they weren't working on any of their shit. So when we get to this part where the lights come on, it's not going to be like, oh, well, they were about unity and stuff, but were they? Because they were cutting people out of their lives who didn't agree with them. And so that they're going to see these different sides of themselves. Those are the things like, and then they're going to see like, oh my God, I got to work on these relationships. I got to heal these. And in some cases, a lot of people are going to really have to humble themselves because, it wasn't just them. You were also disagreeing. You were also being able to be pushed into a position where it was like, fuck you. You don't believe what I believe, then we've got nothing to talk about. Where back in the day, when you had things that you didn't agree on, it was kind of like a social thing. It's like, when you went places, you didn't talk about religion. You didn't talk about politics. And I don't remember. It seems like there was another thing. Maybe it was money, but then they got everybody to start, well, what did you buy? What are you getting? Like they really wanted to turn us into this consumer. And they did really well in America. And I had just seen another map thing, I don't even know, it seemed like it was a news report or something talking, maybe it's out of a documentary or something, but talking about America is Atlantis. So the how I have said about the energy purging out of the different places, that this is what the energy of America is like from all the way back from the beginning. Like we have a huge energy that is coming through and there's so many people here. And like I've said, like from the time I was a little kid, I had some tied to Atlantis. And then I didn't know what it was. I would tell people all the time, Atlantis is real. And I could see it in my head. And I knew it was real. And I kept thinking something about the Bermuda Triangle. That really always got me, the Bermuda Triangle. And in Atlantis. And I was always telling people, like, giants are real. Fairies are real. All that stuff is real. And people would always think I was just wacky. Especially as you get older. It's like you're living a fairy tale or something. It's like, what is wrong with you people? And it's like, you know, people really would think that we are just this, we're the only ones in space. We're out in space, flying as fast as we can, going around in circles. We're half the day spent upside down, even though we don't feel it. We are holding on for dear life, and we don't even, you know, we don't feel any movement. And I mean, where's the wind if we're moving so fast? Shouldn't it be extreme wind all the time? And so, anyways, but we're in a bubble. We're in a bubble, like in the ocean, and we're in a bubble of energy, and it holds a frequency, and it's like a light is on the bubble. And it's like when the light is on the bubble, it's like everybody's focused on it. So the universe and stuff. So it's like that is where you get like the movie's on and everybody's watching. And that is these time periods of experience of what can happen. And I think this is where you get the idea of like that it all happen at once, because it just depends on which one you turn the light on. And it would be the same. It's not like they all, like you have to have this one happen to get to this one, to this one, to this one. No, you just turn on the light and there's that one. You turn on the light, there's that one. And that is why people will be able to figure out how to do like time travel and stuff. And be able to move through different ages and times and stuff. Because it's all just different realms. It's different. It's like a bunch of different bubbles in the ocean or something, and I'm learning how to travel to get to the next bubble, because that bubble has a different experience and different things that the people do and talk about, and I think that we're all going to go way more into adventurers as things play out as we get into the age of Aquarius. Oh yeah, with those girls with the age of Aquarius, because it's what's mental to me. So this is one thing that where I started putting pieces together, where I said all these puzzle pieces start going together, because I knew that the age of Aquarius was coming. I knew, like when I'm like in 2016, when I started talking crazy in my family, one of the things I was saying is that they can't charge us for the land. How did they come up with that they own the land and they can sell it to us? That doesn't make any sense. And so those were the kinds of things, you know, I was saying. And people are just like, okay, weirdo, we have to pay for the land. You have to buy your house. And I would be like, yeah, but think about it. So anyways, it was back then, and I was into all the spiritual stuff. And so I was, I don't know at what point I knew about the age of Aquarius and that we were going into this golden age and everything was going to be changing. And then, you know, I started hearing about the sun flash and stuff like that. And I knew that that went with it. Like it was the Big Bang. It was like the flash of change. And there's stuff about it, like in the book of 1, where it is the harvest is like the souls going in 2 different directions. And so I don't know, like, because legit, I mean, these people are picking the way they want to go. But to me, this flash is going to get everybody to see themselves, because there's like a lot of these other people, I don't see them going in the right direction. They're all just on anger and division too. So, and they all have to see the error of the ways, because you can't take that energy into this new realm. And so, and I knew it was about abundancy, and I knew it was about gold. Like we would have everything that we need. I knew there was something about abundancy and stuff. So then when, and during this time, I was anti-Donald. And I wasn't listening to him. And I had seen a couple things with the letter. I mean, there was some videos. And I was like, hey, you know, this makes sense to me. Because it was stuff that I was seeing already, or I was understanding. And I sent it to my brother. And he's like, oh, that's some cult and stuff. Like, that was a bunch of weirdos. Don't look at that stuff. And so I just kind of went off of it. And, but then stuff started heating up on the, you know, when I was following Bernie, and I was supportive of him, and did not want Hillary in. And even though back there was I don't know when I switched on that, because I really liked her for a long time. And see, these are all things that, you know, you have to face at some point. And then you have to go heal, like, why did I like them? Like, what's wrong with me? And so anyways, that's when I was on Facebook, though. And I started listening to all the people. So I was listening to the other side. I wasn't going in and arguing. I was just going in and listening. And I was seeing such a repetitive pattern. And that is when I started realizing, like, that Donald was going to win, for sure. Especially once they had pulled Bernie. I was so fucking pissed at that party at that point. That was such bullshit. I mean, it was the same thing as all this other bullshit. She was going and doing these goddamn fucking rallies, and she'd pull in like 1,000 people at a school at the best. And she could have hers in the school library. That's what she was pulling in, her crowds. And Bernie was pulling in crowds like Donald. That it was very even. And at the time when it was like, that guy's crazy conservative. Once, you know, he seemed really nutty to me. And Bernie seemed a lot more like, this is the direction we want to go, because we don't have to pay school loans. Drugs or marijuana and stuff is legal. There was a lot of stuff that it just seemed like, you know, getting government's hands out of our lives. And so there was a bunch of stuff that it seemed really good with him. And then when they pulled the stuff on him, it made no sense. And then it was like, okay, so they are putting her in. I was so fucking pissed. I was so fucking over that fucking people. But anyways, when I was going in, I was listening to on Facebook. I was listening to the other side, and that's where I started learning, like, man, Hillary's bad. She's real bad. She's real bad. That's when I did learn about that. And that's when I started seeing, like, oh my God, my mom's been telling me this so long and I couldn't hear her. I just thought she was just against her. But now you hear all these other people, and see, everybody's got to go through these things. And then all of a sudden you hear all these other people and you start listening, and it's like, dang, she's bad. She's bad. She's no way going to win. There's no fucking way. And so that's when I started telling people that he was going to win, and people started freaking out on me and getting mad at me. And I was like, fuck, man, the tensions are high. And my kids were saying, you know, well, the world will be destroyed. And I was like, yeah, but if that's what happens, that's what's supposed to happen. Like, you know, it's what's supposed to happen. And, but people don't see that. Like, I don't understand how people, like, they don't understand like how life works. And so so then they were making like everything was, all the people were freaking out. And then he won, and there was a bunch of us who could see it coming. And I swear it was just, to me it seemed obvious when I listened to the other side. And then once he got in, and then the media just went on so hard. And then don't forget how much she was out there. He cheated. And she was making such a big thing about it because she knew that she did. And there was like, how in the world could he beat that? But that is, you know, that shows that he had that many, and he's got way more now. And then for them, like, that expert to sit there and say Joe beat him, but lady, where's your numbers? Run the motherfucking numbers. God damn, you damn dimwit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He had the numbers of the people there's not the numbers. Like, when you go into the town and you say, there's this many people, that many went on him. And then they're like, oh, this many went on him. It's like, that many people don't live there. So how'd that work? Like, yeah, it's just like, oh my God, I just can't even stand that fucking ignorant arrogance on some of these people. It's like, I didn't even pay full attention on that fucking, when it was just the whole fucking first 2 years of Joe was like spent showing all of the stuff that they did. It's gone to court and everything. And there's a whole fucking thing about it. And these people, it's like, where have you been in your oblivion? And so let me think, because there was something that keeps coming. Okay. Oh yeah, so it was when so we went through all that stuff, and the media was just talking smack on him all through his thing. Then they hit us with the sickness in his last year. And so he was out there talking every day. And it was like, to me, he was definitely getting people on film lying to the president. And to me, it was like, you guys keep on acting like he is doing this with them, but I am seeing that he is catching them on tape lying to them. He makes sure, like, this is what you're sure saying. You're sure about this and stuff. He was getting them. And I knew it was like, even if he knows the truth, he has to go with what is going on. He can't, even when he tried to say stuff like, well, isn't there a thing about the light? Because there is a thing about these light, like all the stuff he was saying was true. And the media would go in hard and all the people would think, God, he's such an idiot. He doesn't even understand science. He's a dimwit and stuff. And it's like, no, he's saying true things, but they are turning it, and he's getting all this on film, like it's set. And these films are going to be popping out, I'm sure, because they were lying to the person who was in charge of all of us. He was trying to be, the filter over us, like, so, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't stop, he couldn't stop what was coming. And he made that clear a lot of times. He would love to be able to stop what's coming, but you can't. People have to see. It has to play out. It has to be shown. And so they did do lots of arrests and get a lot of people gathered up and have people act out parts so that we could see, to keep us more safe, but we still had to see things play out. And but once I started going and listening to him, and then it was just like the universe just brought me this information at the same time, because then I started seeing Charlie Ward all of a sudden. And then all the pieces start going together to me about the money thing. And I was like, oh, he's bringing in the golden age. He's bringing us into this golden standard and the gold standard and all that stuff. So I started seeing, it's like, oh, and then I started seeing about the free, like all the pieces start going together. And then, but I would go listen to the spiritual people and be like, they're not putting any pieces together. They're not seeing it all. They're so busy hating on this Cheeto guy that they can't even fucking hear anything. And I was seeing that just building, like it was building. And then I started seeing all these people talking about this weirdo spirituality, like, and seeing like, oh, these are these people who were like, there was a lot of things that were going together to me, but that is what gets me when I hear these people who are like, ooh, these spiritual people, or astrologers or whatever, and getting, even if you think that the transits and everything lines up, that she's definitely going to win, but your excitement is like, you obviously don't have a clue. And so, and to me, it's like, my question to them is like, okay, so for Age of Aquarius, how's it playing out for you with her? How's this playing out? And if it's the golden age and stuff, how's this playing out with her? Like, she is going in the opposite direction, and we are going in one direction. She's going the opposite direction, but you're telling us that we're going with her. You go with her. I'm not going with her. I'm going this direction. So I don't know how this is going to play out. But yeah, there's a lot of these people who consider themselves to be like super spiritual. But I've been saying this for a couple years now. All these people listening, all these spiritual people thinking like, oh, they're so cool and stuff like that. And not realizing how blue they are and how liberal and stuff. Like, they have a different way of looking at things. It's almost like they're going... God, yes, like they're going anti-Donald and anti-God. It's not more about spirituality. It's more about going against God or something. And it's like putting the science, just focusing on the science of spirituality, trying to control the energy and stuff, which to me, that's like, I don't know, they missed that course, because there's a lot of different ages where you went in and learned that, like through these different lives of alchemy and stuff, like where witches and wizards and all of that stuff was learning about energy. And to me, it's like, I don't have to question it or whatever. Like, I understand it, and I understand about the darker energy and where they're pulling it from, and manipulation of energy and stuff, and what happens when you manipulate energy, and that you don't want energy coming back on you, especially don't want dark energy coming back on you. You want to, I think that's probably why it does become representative of like the witches becoming all like decrepit and stuff, because they're putting out this, it's coming back on them, because that's reality, that's real. That's how the energy works, is what you put out comes back to you. That's just the universal law of existence. And so that is where, you got to learn and be a lot more mindful over what it is you're putting out. When you start realizing that, it slows you down and makes you think. I used to be so much more impulsive. I was thinking about that. Like, I used to be very impulsive, especially about things that I would say and stuff. And I have become a lot more mindful and slowed down and think about it. And, is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to say? And especially if you can keep that energy until you get yourself calm. Because when you're reactive, you're going to be a lot more harsh, a lot more wicked and mean. And so, we say things, snap back. We want to hurt them as much as they hurt us. Snap back with another one. And that is where you will end up feeling like an asshole. You will end up, it will bother you. Like, the things that other people say to us kind of egg us on. They fuck with our heads. They make us feel like, everybody thinks I'm like that. Everybody looks at me like that, which is ridiculous. That's where, that's an action you can take towards healing, because that's ridiculous. I think everybody looks at you, nobody looks at you the same way. Nobody even sees you for who you are, actually. Everybody just sees a reflection of themselves in you. The things that you represent to them is what they see. So nobody even sees you. So and people get so caught up and hung up on their you. But anyways, you don't need to worry so much about what other people think of you. Because it is really, and I see this so much on the fucking videos too, of people, my stomach's growing, as people freaking out. What was the one? Because it was one that I had just seen. I was like, was somebody said something to them and hurt their feelings, and I can't remember what the whole thing was, but anyways, I just see these videos where these certain things stand out to me, where it's like I can see what it is that I'm saying. And so anyways, the energy you put out comes back to you. The two different things, the representatives of the two different paths, one towards health and harmony and taking care of yourself, because that's the biggest thing, is you taking care of yourself, and emotionally, spiritually, all of these things. And that is a part of like where people wake up. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna wake up to this medical dependency that has been created. And so there's going to be a lot of purging out about that. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be leading the way, probably cancer survivors, people who have healed themselves from different things, will lead the paths on this stuff. So that's what I would say. Like, there will be these new light holders, people who have walked the path, who have done it. It won't be just someone telling you how to do something. It'll be somebody telling you what they did. And so it can help other people to be able to go into, figure out a direction for them. It's not like you just jump on someone else's path. You have to still go inside yourself and try and understand your own path. And that is what I was saying about the 3D path is very forced. Everything about that stuff is very forced. And this other, when you go into more of the spirituality, is way more about going with the flow. And you think like, those are challenges. Those are all challenges through all of this, through all of these things. Why other people have been mad, like yelling and fighting with each other and freaking out that we're going to all end up in these cities and stuff, which we're not. I mean, that is we're going into the age of Aquarius. Like, it's a set thing. It's just a set thing. Like, it's like trying to stop the sun from coming up, which, I mean, we even have a fake sun, and we probably could. But it is, that's not what's going to happen. We're going into the age of Aquarius. Well, some of us, some people, I don't know where the hell they're going. Like, maybe they are going to some horrible place. I don't know. It wouldn't be a place that they would be trapped. It's not like they're going to hell. It would just be go into a deeper part of some game because it was whatever it is that they're trying to learn or heal or whatever. I mean, and the thing about the game thing is because it's on a different level than what you think. So your challenges are more about emotional and spiritual than, you know, trying to fight people and kill people and shoot people and jump over things and stuff like that. It's on this other kind of level that you are playing this game. It's like to not get knocked down and beat down by the things happening, to know, you know, who you are, be able to pull yourself back up, and be able to keep yourself going, to be able to trust your path, all of those kinds of things. And so that is like when you get on the higher, your more positive life path, that is the one that is there for you. That's the one that you came into play. That's the one that you wanted. And so that life path is there, but then you start fighting against the universe and trying to force what it is that you want from life and how the direction you think you should go. So that's when you're on your negative timeline, when you're trying to create the life that you think, because you forgot the life you came here to play out. And so that is when you start awakening to your purpose. Your purpose is your life path that you came in to play out. And the distraction is what you're trying to force. And it's a distraction from what you came here to do. So, but there's all lessons in that. Like everything that you do has lessons, and everything that you do, you were always going to do. You're not tricking the universe in any way. That would be like tricking yourself, like you don't know what you're about to do or something, which, you know, I mean, maybe there's people who don't know like what they're about to do. I don't know. Like I said, it's all levels of consciousness, but you're not tricking the universe. You're not getting up and doing something today that they didn't expect you to do. Even if you think you're tricking yourself, you're not tricking the universe. It's, you know, it's set. And to me, it is way more of the, when you are a battle with the universe, is when you are on your lower timeline. And then the lower timeline is where you are very frustrated. The people who you interact with are there to teach you to get over to the higher timeline. And so they're teaching you the things that you're missing, like to love yourself, to respect yourself, to care about yourself. Because all of the beat down that we have in our beginning years also is triggers from our past lives. So it gets us in deep into our emotions, into our triggers. And then we go out into the world and we start interacting with people. Well, in this world where they have misled us, it's very different. But when you go out and start interacting and people start triggering you, then you start feeling like something's wrong with you. You're a weirdo. Nobody likes you. You don't fit in. And instead of going, oh, this trigger, this thing that's coming in and hitting me is something that I need to work on. Like, this is a release I can do. Like, that's where I'm saying things are going to be changing a lot, because people are going to start realizing like, oh, thank you. Like, that helps me purge this out of me so that I don't hold on to these biases and extreme notions or whatever. So those are to purge them out. And the people you interact with, the people that come into your orbit at the time, are all people who are in that same energy. They're all trying to pull themselves out. A lot of people aren't on their best timeline. And it's not for any of us to understand someone's timeline. Like, someone can have a very simple timeline that's their best one. It doesn't mean because you're on your best timeline that you're going to be a millionaire and live in a mansion. That is just different lessons. It depends on what your soul came here to learn. And if you have a big draw to that, it could be because you lived like that and you don't want to let it go. And so now in this life, you have this temptation to learn to let it go. so that you can be like, that's not what's going to make me happy. This over here, I can find happiness. Like I was thinking about, to me, I've got so much love in my life. These 3 dogs give me so much love. We have such camaraderie. We have such fun during the daytime. And even though they'll drive me crazy sometimes, and I don't like to be interrupted, and I've really noticed I really don't like things sitting on my lap. I keep telling poor little Archie, he's just this little guy. He's always trying to edge up and get on my lap. He's getting his head on my leg, scooting over and scooting over. I'm like, dude, I'm just really not into this. Like, I feel very space invaded. Like, I need my space, like this little space. And then they always try and cram around me anyways. I've got like this much space, and then they want to get on top of that. It's like, good, Joyce, yeah, come on. And one thing, too, is I've noticed having the dogs around during this time of healing and stuff, is that they do bring up different things of being a mom, of back being a kid, or when my kids were little. And, you know, them demanding things from me, wanting things from me and stuff, and bringing that energy back up and realizing like, oh, man, I did frustrated. Like, when somebody is pushing on me and pushing on me, when we don't have time to ourselves, and we feel like people are taking advantage of us, which the dogs are naturally going to be taking advantage of us, and because they want, and they're not too concerned about what I want. And to them, I'm just a God here to provide. Here, take this. I've got more, I've got more. And then when I'm sitting there like, we're about to run out of treats, you guys. Like, that's it. And they're like, yeah, but more will come in the mail. I was like, come on. So anyways, but to me, I have so much love around me. And to other people, like, they see dogs as being such a problem. And that is such a huge thing that's being purged out of our society right now. Oh, my God. Yeah, people saying, you know, like, they don't get, like, how people even have any feelings towards dogs. Like, oof, I don't know what's going to happen in your life to get you leveled out. But, and then there's all these horrible, sad videos because of all the people who do care. And there's just all this caring. Everybody's rescuing all these animals. There's animals dying in the street. There's animals starving all over the place. And this was sad because this guy was a surveyor, and he was doing something with the surveying in this neighborhood, and he had to go in these people's yard. So he knocked on the door and said, hey, I've got to do some surveying. I got to go back in your yard. And she's like, okay, no problem. So he goes back there, and he sees his dog on a chain, and it's like a big anchor holding it, and then this chain. The dog is so freaking skinny. It's just bones. Its tail between its legs, shivering, you know, horrible. And he was like traumatized. He was like so pissed when he saw that, he said. Then he said he kept smelling something dead, but and he had to go further back in the yard. So he goes walking back there, and he sees that they have a dog, what are those things called? Not dog crate, dog run, like where people put up those little dog run place, little dog things. And so he gets up to it, and there's 2 dog houses and 2 dead dogs. And that is when he said he lost it. He was so fucking pissed. And he said he walked up to that thing, he grabbed that chain and ripped it up, and he went and put that dog in his car, and he went and called the cops, and he took that dog and went home. And it's only been a day or two. The dog's still super skinny, and he's trying to nurse it back to health and get it to the vet and stuff. And I don't think he really wanted a dog. Another person just rescued one that was all shot with BBs and stuff, and got it in their house, and is rescuing it, and suddenly has puppies, and they're like freaking out. Like, there's so many of these stories that just keep going and going. Everybody's got their own storylines to play out, and lessons come with all the storylines and connection and stuff. Like, even if the puppy thing, it could be that, you know, she's going to make contact with some people who are going to be very integral in her future timeline. So you just don't know how the universe has got things planned out and staked out in your life. And when you are fighting against it, when you're on the other timeline, it's like you're not trusting, and you feel like you have to. And it's so much of what we're told. You know, you got to make things happen. You got to do this and you got to do that. Well, that was to lead you away, it leads you into frustration, away from your soul. Because your soul, you don't do anything. Your life is planned out before you got here. And it plays out naturally. You don't have to do anything. You are programmed to follow the line. It is like I said, it's like you are birthed in. It's like getting onto an amusement park ride and getting in your slot and then taking that ride and getting that view from that seat. And that gives you the ride is your perspective, your view from the seat that you're in. And so there's not stuff that you have to get up and do every day. You have to me, the things that makes a difference, and you learn them when you're on the other timeline. That's the thing. You learn them. It happens naturally. It's development. It's like taking steps towards your best self. And it all has to do with this healing, and it has to do with trusting. It has to do with, a lot of things, because, when you're fighting to try and make things be the way you want them to be, then that is where you start being like, well, why do I think I know what's best? And why do I want to sit here and fight the universe and make it be, if this isn't meant to be, it's not meant to be. But when you are going in a certain direction, there's signs. There's signs that show you. And then when you have questions, like your guides will tell you. Your guides will keep you informed along the way. Like I said, they can't tell you every little detail. They can't tell you every little thing. Well, this is going to happen. Well, today when you get up, this is going to happen. It's not like that. But they will keep you informed, especially over things that have already happened. And then you're like, well, why did that happen? What's that all about? And, all of a sudden, you'll get this view of something. And it's like, oh, and you just don't understand. And so there's a constant communication, and there's always signs. And so you have, but that is also through your healing where you start trusting, and it's trusting yourself, because all these people over here, like there's still so many people daily. Oh, they're getting diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, all of these different things. And all of these things are all things that people can heal. Like, you aren't these things. Like, these are adapted aspects of your personality or something. But you aren't. Your soul is not broken in any way, shape, or form. Your soul is not handicapped. And one thing, too, is I think that people don't realize, like, I think people, like, to me, this is like their own handicap or something, is that, like, to think that all handicapped people are good people because they're handicapped. Well, they're a good person because they're handicapped. And that is like not, like, we're all, no matter who we are, no matter what we have going, we all have both inside of us. Because you come in one thing doesn't mean that you lose the other side of you and you just live off of this side. No, that's not, no. Those people, everybody has the same thing of finding balance in different situations. So, and it can be on different levels. It may be on a level that seems really simple and simplistic to you. And it may be like, but it still is a different fine-tuning for the souls. So all experiences have validity. But but I was thinking about that because of Donald doing that, like, to that guy, because that guy was some kind of handicapped guy, and then it was coming out this guy was a total dick and stuff. And then I think a lot of people, I don't think, can even put their head around that. Like, they just would feel for the handicapped person and automatically be like, well, poor him, and wouldn't think like, so there's people who can hide behind that. And that is something that we found with religion and stuff. People can hide behind how you look at them. You got to look at everybody like, you can't just go. That is how Bundy was able to play on him. Like, this guy's injured. He surely wouldn't hurt me. It's like, they can play act. They can feed off of your thing. And oh yeah, and there's so many attacks right now going on women. Oh my God, they're being attacked everywhere. Not just getting punched. There's like all sorts of shit going down. Like, you got to be so careful, like, when you're out right now. And that's the thing, is like, the people who are aware and awake are more hyper vigilant, paying attention, like, book, You know, like where people are always like, keep your head on a swivel, keep looking, and you know, you gotta be watching out. You gotta have a mirror because you'll be, because somebody can sneak up behind you. To me, I like to just stay home more. It's like, I don't want to go out in the crazy chaos. Every time I go out, it's just like, fuck, this is chaos, man. I can't believe people live like this. Oh, yeah, and in LA, so we have the earthquakes going over here. And I think there was another one over by Japan or something, because this is going to ricochet these earthquakes as the template, the plates are shifting. And so by LA, I saw a woman saying it has been smelling so bad in LA for 2 days. And she said down by Santa Monica, it smells like dead fish. And she said, I don't understand why it smells like dead fish so strong. And people keep saying there's something with the ocean. So there is a lot of stuff dying in the ocean. And one thing that Donald had said is the windmills are causing the whales to freak out, and there's stuff about that, so you can go look up about it, because they think that the whales all coming out of the water and beaching themselves has something to do with the windmills are putting off the sonar in the things. It's messing up stuff. And even when they listen to the whales are, like, it's when they were listening, the sounds was horrible, like with the windmill, like the sound, like, and I'm sure it must be like by certain places that are more near the ocean or something. But he's been saying this whole time that we don't want those things. But see, they sell us these things because it's their friends who own them. And then they tell us, oh, this is what we need. Well, this is the kind of stuff he's trying to come in and break down and be like, no, this is what they say we need. This isn't what we need. And there's also the first city, supposedly, is getting set up for flying cars. And the person who was doing that video, they're like, oh my God, everybody's going to be so jealous. We're going to have the flying cars. And so they're setting it up to start doing it. And I was thinking, you know, if we get the hovering cars and stuff, then, you know, that would cut down on all of the animal slaughter on some of it, because there's so much slaughter that we do to the animals and the wildlife through, you know, travel the way that we have been taught to travel. But then I was like, man, if they go up too high, then are we going to be like running into birds all the time, killing birds? Like, surely we're going to be, I don't know. Whatever it is, maybe the cars put out some kind of a thing that, like something I noticed when I was watching the spiders, because the spiders would go out and make these webs, and they're so pretty and so elaborate. And when the sun would shine through them, they were like a rainbow of colors and stuff. And they're supposedly like a really strong silk that the spiders put out. But I was thinking about what was I thinking about? Spiders and the web. What was I going to say about it? So weird. And I just hit into, it's like, what was I talking about? The spiders and the web. What the fuck was I about to say about that? Something with the spiders. Something with the people. Man, I can't remember what it was. That's so weird. So, how long have I been talking? Probably because I've been talking long enough. It's like, you don't need to just keep rambling about shit. So, anyways, I don't know what's gonna go down. Like, today is the 111 portal. And we're starting a new timeline today. Everybody's a new world. It's a new, all this stuff. What was that too? Because I just had a comment of somebody, blue person, and they said something. All I can say is these people are just not seeing things. They only see half the story. Like, they're going and making decisions off half the story, and they don't know it yet. And whatever they have to learn from that stuff will be their lessons. Like, all these different things. All I see is that there's a lot that is going to awaken. Lots of people. And it's the awaken isn't just, it's awakened to themselves. That is why this is a time of the mirrors or whatever, in the Hopi prophecy or whatever. or Mayan or whatever, this will be the time of the mirrors, because this is where everybody's going to only be able to see themselves and see their own behaviors. So that is the stuff. Like when you're awakening, it is questioning things. But what it's going to turn into, because what it turns into is the healing and seeing things and stuff. And so that is what we're going to be going into, this big time period of this awakening. But it is going to be so devastating to people, because it's going to be like putting them into such a raw place, like the dark night of the soul, of really having to face their own ego. And so many people, because there will be a group of people that think they've already healed and they're all good and they're the leaders and stuff like that. And then there will be people that are not going to see it coming at all. They're going to be like, what the fuck is happening? And then there's going to be people who have been fighting it because they wanted to, because out of fear, they thought that they had to change these people. So there's going to be a lot of different dynamics playing out, and we're going to see a lot of different things playing, but there's going to be a lot more leadership going into a different direction, and it's not going to be old fucking Cammy. She's only leading people to a slaughter. She's not leading us into the golden age. Like, I really don't understand these people. Like, I mean, it's one thing, I'm serious, it's one thing if you start saying all the transits and her chart and all that shows, is the one girl, she was all like jacked up on it, and she's like, and she's going to do something so significant, she's going to make such an impact, it shows in her transits and all this stuff. Like, I think it's going to be a different impact than what you think. So and they're saying Donald's, there's nothing, it's just like, it's a dud, it's just a drizzle. It's like, well, I think that he's the one who's been talking about signing us on the Brooks thing. He's the one who's already said we're going on to the Brooks. He's the one who's already said we're going into the golden age. He's the one who's like all this stuff. Like, he's the person who is leaning us into the golden age. He's the one who is directing us into the field of freedom. He's the one who's driving the bus. He's driving the train, trying to get us out of the fucking swamp, trying to get us to move to cleaner waters, to clear out of the hell that they've created for us. And if you hate him and stuff like that, then people just can't see. And they're showing so much that they just are hateful people. They're just full of hate. They can't hear what people say because they are so misled and stuff. So anyways, we'll see how it all plays out. It just seems like the tension's building. We're getting closer and closer. So now we've got 7 days or 5 days or something. It's supposedly the 5th and the 7th or some kind of things. But there's going to be all sorts of stuff's going to keep going. And there's going to keep being these storms. And when they are changing the map, I think that we all need to take notice. Like, this is really... the map's really changing. And even though the universe doesn't give me an out, doesn't show me what direction I'm supposed to go, I'm still, that's where I spend my time. It's like, you know, what am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? When are you guys going to show me? You want me to start packing? What do you want me to do? And I always feel like it's just, you know, just let it play out, let it play out. And so it's just like, sometimes you just got to let it play out, and then you got to trust. And it's when, you know, you find your fears are churning, and that is when you got to go in and be like, okay, just calm down. They said it's going to be fine. Just trust it's going to be fine. And those are the playing the game. That is when you are learning to trust, you know, it's like trust your player, the person who's playing you. You know, you're just the avatar. And they are connected to you, but you got to learn how to trust them. And so that is when it changes the game. When you start trusting them, and you start believing in what they're saying, and you start listening to what the direction they're taking you. But when you are in the other timeline, when you're learning to love yourself, it has great impact. Like, there's a purpose. Like, you cannot be who you are without being that. You have to go through all of the pain to become who you are. Because otherwise, there's nothing that makes up who you are. You are a product of the different experiences. That is what and who you are. So, anyways, and it all is your own response to the different situations, is what it is you're putting out. And learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. So, we'll see how this goes, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.